Hi, James Hayford here, the editor of the Laramie Sentinel. I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself. I was born on the 22nd of December, the year of our Lord, 1826, in Potsdam, New York. Now, for you, those of you who aren't familiar with New York, that's the uppermost portion right on the St. Lawrence River. Normal childhood. At one point, my brother and I decided that we wanted to become doctors. So we went to the University of Michigan and we both enrolled. Unfortunately, at some point the money ran out and my brother decided that he would give way and let me finish, and he went on to just a job. I completed my studies there and became a doctor. I never did practice medicine. I went from there to Cheyenne. I met a gentleman by the name of Gates and got interested in the newspaper game. Well, went west from there to become the editor of the Laramie Daily Sentinel. That was in, 1869. Yep. And I did a heck of a job. At my eulogy, they said that a man by the name of Clark out of Cheyenne wasn't as good as me, but anyways, he said that I could sling more mud with a teaspoon than he could with a scoop shovel. But I don't know if that's true or not. But anyway, while I was here, I did several different things. I became a lawyer. I mean, let's face it, folks, delivering a baby at 2 o'clock in the morning, getting paid in chickens, or being a lawyer, working days, getting paid in gold. Okay. I also became the Justice of the Peace. I became a lot of things. But I always had my facts. People say it was my opinion. It was my facts, and they were true. Some of the things that I would rail against were wild hogs in the street. Now, I'm not talking about the movie with Tim Allen and John Travolta. I'm talking about actual critters running around the streets of Laramie. Yeah. Can you imagine that? Well, something had to be done about it. So I printed editorials about it. Even signed a few of them. Some of the other things, roller skating. Now, let's face it, folks. If God had wanted us rolling around on wheels, he would have put them in our feet. But he didn't. I was raised in a good God-fearing home, and I knew what was right and what was wrong, and that was wrong. And I let my opinion, my facts be known. Well, I had a run-in with some of the local people, one of them being Mr. Ivinson. He and I did not see eye to eye, although if he had invited me to dinner, I'd sure go. Can't turn down a free meal. Yes, Ivinson and I, our paths crossed several times. We were both appointed to the board at the territorial prison. Then we were both in the first round of trustees for the University of Wyoming. Seems like we couldn't get away from each other. Or maybe we played off from each other. I don't know, folks. My married life, well, I had 2, maybe 3 wives. Gotta remember, I've been dead 118 years, folks. Memory's a little hazy. I had between 22 and 24 kids. 9 of them lived. And a few of them are buried up here at Laramie with me. Okay? I was against putting that school way out there on Garfield. That was way out of town. And I let my feelings be known about that. Well, seems like I got labeled a goody-goody faction. Can you believe that, folks? Me, a goody-goody faction? No. So I had to publish, and I signed this one, an editorial in 1875. I remember it well, because I put in there, would a goody-goody have the monstrous, grinning skull of Big Ed Beeston sitting on his desk? Now, for you who may not be informed, Big Ed Beeston was a scoundrel and a crook. He and his partners used to swindle people out of their land. What they did was they said, give us the land or die. So most gave them the land. Well, in 1868, which is a year before I got here, 3 of them were hung by vigilantes. Now, like I said, my memory's a little hazy, so I don't remember exactly how I ended up with his skull, but I did. Okay? I was also attributed with stretching the facts. In 1870, the census came out and said there was 9,300 and change people here in Laramie. Well, I'd printed just before that there was 23,000. Well, okay, so 20,000 of them were Indians. Can I say Indians? Anyways, I lived all the way up till 1905. The Daily Sentinel, it finally went the way of the dodo bird. Around 1895, we had to go to a weekly rather than a daily. And this young upstart that I gave a job to by the name of Bill Nye, he came in with his boomerang. Did a fine job. Not quite as good as me, but yeah, it was passable. Anyways, I ended up dying in 1902 on July 28th. And I'm buried right here in Laramie. And I have been for many years. But it wasn't until the 20s, in the 1920s, the city and the people, the good people of Laramie got me a headstone. I don't know why I didn't get one before that. Like I said, it's hazy. But I did get one in the 20s. And I, up until a couple years ago, was lying real peaceable there. Until this woman named Judy Knight come along and keeps digging me up every year. Hi, Judy. That's it, folks.